Hi, I'm Richard, and I want to give you a quick update on the situation here in the Peruvian Amazon with respect to the ministry and to our family. Everybody knows we are in the midst of a worldwide pandemic. Well, things have changed because of that all around the world. Here in the Peruvian Amazon, I am not able to go and train tribal pastors in their villages. I'm not allowed to travel there. In fact, I'm not even allowed to go into town unless it's to buy either food or medicine or some sort of emergency. We are really locked down. It's been a very tight lockdown here in Peru. And I'm not going to go into the details about what it is in Pucallpa. I got to be honest with you, it's pretty bad. But where we live on our base here, things are great. I can get out of the house, we can walk around, there are no cases, it's gorgeous, it's beautiful out here, we have plenty of space. So that's not an issue. But because we cannot go out to the villages, I've really focused my efforts on a few other things. Number one, still ministering and preaching partly in our Peruvian church here. All of our preaching is done online through Facebook Live. And so I'm helping others get their videos together, the music and their sermons, putting it all together and putting it on Facebook for them, as well as preaching some of those messages myself, as I normally do. We want to continue to reach the people in Pucallpa, even if it's online. As for here near the base, we have a couple of guys here on base that are Huni Queen from a village on the Purus River, and they cannot get back home to their families either. And so we've been trying to take care of them, trying to provide food and help them while they're here. As well, there is a village not too far from us that has 70 families. They're all Shipibo community. And we partnered with Sam Air to provide food for all 70 families, at least a little bit. And there's a whole nother video on that, and you can watch that at another time. Well, as ministry has also changed, many things have changed for our family as well. Many of you know that Nathan and Krista and I were in the States in February and March for a few weeks for a mission conference at our home church. Well, Nathan and I flew back in the middle of March, and Krista was supposed to come back 2 weeks later. Well, on the flight back, in the middle of the flights, that's when the president of Peru decided to lock down the borders. And so we got into the country, and the next day we got back to Pucallpa. But now no international flights are going in or out. There were a few repatriation flights that were going back in the first several weeks to the U.S., and we figured, well, we just got home. Let's just hang out, be patient. We're fine. There's not an emergency. We don't have to go back right now. Ideally, we would want Krista to come home. All of us would. That would be the best situation and the best scenario, but we cannot do that. Getting her down here would be very difficult. And we just found out yesterday that international flights will be closed and not permitted until at least October. Now, we've been apart for a little over 2 months already, and it's been a little hard. But to be separated for 5 more months minimum, that would be very hard on us as a family. And so now the best option for us is to try for Nathan and I to get back to the States. And so I need you to pray. And that's really what I want to do today, is just ask you to pray for a few specific things. First, we have to have a notarized letter saying that Nathan can travel with just me, just one parent. When you travel internationally, you have to have that letter. We cannot get that letter notarized right now. Number one, Krista is in the States. And number two, all the notaries here are closed. And so there has to be a way around it, and we're asking the embassy, and we're asking a few people, but we need to figure out what to do there. Secondly, getting from Pucallpa to Lima. At this point, there are no flights at all. Every once in a while, there might be a flight, but we can't get on it until we get the permission for Nathan to travel and can get to Lima and get a flight from there to the States. And so we can drive if necessary once we get all that information as well, but we need to figure out how we're going to do that. So please pray for that. And then lastly, getting from Lima to the States. We can get on a charter flight and get to probably to Miami, and we'll figure all that out. But really, the thing is going to be the cost. It's going to be very expensive. It's going to be very expensive for the entire process, getting from here to Lima, Lima to the States to wherever in the States, to Chattanooga or Pensacola or wherever that may be. And then we have to buy our tickets back when the borders do open up. So it's going to be very, very expensive. We're looking maybe in the range of somewhere between $8,000 and $12,000. But honestly, it's something we need to do. And so I just want to ask you to pray. Number one, pray for our family, but also pray for our ministry here. Things are still happening here. And God is still working. You know, the world may be closed down, but God has not stopped working. And hopefully He has not stopped working in your own lives as well. And so our prayer is for you. We ask you to pray for us as well. And hopefully we'll see you soon in the United States.